Dear students, in our previous class under the chapter called Public Finance, we learned about the general reasons which are responsible for increasing or mounting public expenditure. But under the same topic, what we have as public expenditure, it is very important for us to know why public expenditure is increasing in India. That is, with reference to our country, we need to know the reasons behind increasing public expenditure. Reasons for growth of public expenditure in India. Remember, this particular question can be asked under section B or part 2, clear, under the descriptive. Please focus on this particular question and learn well. Just observe these pictures. You'll come to know why the public expenditure is increasing in India. What are the reasons behind it? Observe defense requirements, infrastructural base, modern modes of transport like metro, irrigation and power projects, provision of banking, insurance, and such facilities, provision of health to the mass, then sanitation for all, ensuring the cleanliness, social welfare programs which have been launched by the government from time to time. These are the major points to be kept in mind. Just keep these pictures in mind so that we can summarize the reasons for increasing public expenditure in India. Let us learn the reasons in detail. Observe the very first one we have satisfying the defense needs. Remember, India has a long border with China, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, or formerly it was referred as East Pakistan. You know that we share land border with these countries, China, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So it is very, very important for us to safeguard our borders. And that too, specially, we have a long drawn struggle with Pakistan with reference to Jammu Kashmir issue. We have struggle with China over the region of Akashin dispute. We have struggle with Bangladesh also. So, in order to safeguard our borders from these neighboring countries, it is very important for the country to pay attention to the defense needs. See, when I say defense needs, the defense forces we have army, navy, air force. From time to time, it is very important for the defense needs that they have to update their equipments. That's why the government has spent lot of money clear during our plan periods. For example, when the first 5-year plan was launched in 1950s, the defense expenditure of the government was very less. It was only 164 crores. That's it. But just observe, after a span of roughly around 5.5 decades, that is in 2007-8, it increased to 54,078 crores. Imagine, earlier in 1950s it was 164 crores. But 2007-8 it increased to 54,078 crores. So that means the public expenditure or the money spent on the defense requirements has increased many a times. The reason is updating the arms and ammunitions which are required by our forces. Come to point 2, building a strong infrastructural base. Remember, during the British colonial period, you know that before independence, India was subjected to the colonial rule of the British. During that colonial period, they gave lot of importance to the construction of railways as well as roads. These roads and railway projects were undertaken by the British government to promote their interests. That is, to promote their trade interests. However, sustained growth of industrial and agricultural production, that is, let us say, in a post-independent period, gradually, when industrial and agricultural production increased, remember, further to expand this agricultural industrial production, there was a need to expand infrastructural base. That is mainly the transportation links. Remember, private investors are always reluctant to block their funds with risky ventures. Why? Because the private investors, after the investment, they cannot wait for a long time period, or we call it as gestation period. Gestation period is a gap between the time of investment and the time of return. Normally, in the risky ventures, that gestation lag will be more, and the private investors are not taking much interest when they are reluctant to invest or block their funds in such risky ventures. Government had to take up such projects. As a result of this, in order to strengthen the infrastructural base such as roads, railways, buildings, irrigation projects, government has to step in and it has to take up such risky ventures. As a result, the public expenditure increases. Come to next point. Prevention of monopolization. Observe, prevention of monopolization. In some cases, private industries show a tendency towards monopolization and concentration of economic power. See, the motto of private sector is to mainly maximize the profit, and they try to produce the goods as long as they get enough profit. Social goal is not there for them. Mostly these monopolies have harmful effects on economic system of the country. In such situations, to prevent such monopolies, government takes over the industries. Directly, the government may take over the industry, or sometimes even government without taking, or government does not take the existing industries, but side by side, it may set up new units on its own. That is, though the private sector exists, parallel to this, the government may set up public sector unit. So healthy competition may prevail in the market. For example, in this regard, when you consider, there are so many telecommunication operators in the private sector, but at the same time, government has set up BSNL. Similar way, BSNL operates side by side. This is the best example that you can give for the existence of mixed economic system. You know that in your last year's syllabus you learned what is a mixed economy. A mixed economy is one where public and private sector exist side by side. So, in order to prevent this monopolization, government entry becomes essential, and that in turn leads to higher expenditure. Come to fourth, emphasis on increasing output. That is, government intervention is sometimes necessary even though there is no tendency for monopolization. Here we said that in the previous, to prevent monopolization, government is entering. But in the next point, you are saying that even without the tendency of monopolization, government intervention becomes necessary. The private producers are interested in profit maximization. It should be Profit, profit maximization. They will produce just that amount of output which will maximize their profit. If the production is increased beyond that level, profits will decline. So private sector is always profit oriented. They try to limit their production and they produce that level of goods which will maximize their profit, and after that point they will not. By chance, if they produce beyond that point, the profits will decline. In such cases, the government may wish to step in and even start production on its own initiative with the objective of increasing real output and then maximizing profit. See, maximizing profit is a goal of private. Here, government intervention is to increase the real output. For example, Government of India had a target to achieve self-sufficiency in food grain production during planned periods. Of course, it was able to achieve this self-sufficiency in terms of food grain production through green revolution, and through mechanization of agriculture, introduction of HYVS, that is high yielding variety of seeds, and so on. Come to point 5, development of backward areas. See, in order to reduce economic inequality, you know that the entire country, nation as a whole, you take. Remember, lot of economic inequalities, regional inequalities exist in the country also. Even a particular state you take, even there also that regional inequalities continue. So, in order to avoid that inequalities, it has become very necessary for the government to step in and start industries, set up industries in backward areas. But profit seeking private industries, because private industrialists, their main motto is to make profit. Such profit seeking private industrialists are often not enthusiastic to enough to such programs, which means that private industrialists, they won't show enough interest, they are not enthusiastic enough to clear start industries in backward areas, because such backward areas lack proper transport facilities, they don't get proper raw materials. So the private entrepreneurs or industrialists, they in fact are reluctant to start industries in such backward areas, because their main goal is to increase or maximize profits. In such situations, when the private is not entering, obviously government has to enter. Hence, the government steps in such cases and expand industries. For example, the government of India has undertaken different project for the development of NE states, that is North Eastern states like Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura, Manipura, Nagaland, Sikkim, etc. See, these northeastern states, you know that they are rugged with mountains, thick forests, and they are sparsely populated. In spite of which, remember, there is a necessity to promote the development of these NE states. That's why, through various special programs, the union government has launched such programs for the development of these NE states. As a result of this, the regional inequalities can be reduced. Come to the next point, the sixth one, supplying basic facilities to growing population. You know that India is the most populated country in the world after China. It occupies second place, all of us know. So this growing population pressure in India also meant growing demand for health, education, and medical facilities. That means, as population increases, the demand for health, education, medical, and such other social welfare programs, the demand increases. With a gradual urbanization, that is, with the growth of towns and cities, remember the demand here, T should be like is missing. The demand for better housing and sanitation, banking and insurance facilities, better transport and communication facilities has become prominent. Remember, urbanization requires or demands better housing, sanitation, banking, and the financial sector. When I say insurance, let it be general insurance or health insurance. When I say transportation, all modern modes of transport, clear, communication media, and all these facilities become prominent, and government has to shoulder the responsibility of providing such modern facilities for the growing towns and cities. Hence, the government had to spend substantial amount of money for urban development and for extending basic facilities. So that means these are the basic facilities, which are the health, education, medical, and urban development demand the promotion of housing, sanitation, banking, insurance, and so on. So to ensure these facilities, government has to incur, and as a result, expenditure increases. Come to point 7, expanding administrative machineries. When I say administrative machineries, See, in the post-independent period, that is after India's independence, many new departments have been set up by the government for the smooth functioning of the administration in India. Remember, in the pre-independent period, clear the departments were different. Post-independence, certain new departments have been set up. Gradually, expansion of public sector necessitated such well-knit administrative setup in the government. When I say well-knit, well-organized administrative system has become essential, and government has taken certain initiative to set up such administrative machineries. For example, SAIL, that is Steel Authority of India Limited. I repeat, Steel Authority of India Limited. CIL, that is Coal India Limited. I repeat, Coal India Limited. One more third, you have oil, that is Oil India Limited. See, O Oil, I India, L Limited. GAIL, GAIL, that is Gas Authority of India Limited. Oil and Natural Gas Commission, that is ONGC popular, Indian Oil Corporation, and so on. There are many such public sector industries are there, public sector corporations are there. Some of these we have learned even in our last year's syllabus also, you can recollect them. Come to next. Thus, setting up of different such departments need huge public expenditure, and the government has to incur clear some amount or substantial amount of money for the smooth functioning of the government machinery or administrative machineries, clear, which is one of the reasons for the growth of public expenditure. Come to the next slide, where we have about greater provision for social security and welfare measures. See, nowadays, most of the modern constitutions, they have given focus on welfare state. So, promotion of social welfare is one of the objective, and provision of social security is also given prime priority. So, public expenditure was also necessary for extending such social security benefits for workers. When I say workers, industrial workers, such as maternity benefit for the women workers, accident benefits, old age pension, disablement benefits, etc. Because when I say disablement benefits, a particular worker who is working with clear big machines in day and night shifts, sometimes there may be industrial accidents, clear. As a result, he may become permanently handicapped or disabled, clear. For him, the government has to provide some amount of money as the welfare or social security measures, and this was necessary for improving standard of living, of standard of living of the working class. Government of India also provide subsidized food grains through ration shops. Recollect, last year we have learnt about PDS. There you have learnt about subsidy, ration shops, and all those that you are aware. So the government of India has focused on food security as one of the important goal. So to provide food grains clear at the subsidized price, the government of India has promoted clear the rationing we call. Hence, substantial amount of money is spent on subsidy payment also. So that means government is bearing the burden of food subsidy plus the social or welfare measures. Come to point 9. Servicing of public debt. When I say servicing of public debt, of course, all of us know what is public debt, which are the types of public debt. When we know these public debt and its types, let us move on. What is the servicing of public debt? Why it has become essential? Let us learn. Remember, the need of public expenditure was growing continuously during plan periods. See, every 5-year plan starting from 1951 till date, it has certain, these plans they have certain plan targets. So to achieve those plan targets, clear government expenditure increases. Actually, the revenue receipts, when I say revenue receipts, income, whatever the government gets through tax revenue or non tax revenue, that could not meet the growing demand for public investment. As a result, there will be the gap between expenditure and revenue. This will create a deficit. When I say deficit, the gap that exists between the revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. In fact, hence the union budget experienced a deficit. As a result, the government had to borrow from different sources. Different sources of public debt, internal and external sources. And the government had to spend huge amount of money for meeting its debt obligations. When I say debt obligations, paying the loan, repayment of loan, principal plus interest. That is what we call debt obligations, or also debt servicing. Thank you.